Hello, everyone. This is Tom, the Lone Wolf Prepper. Welcome to the Lone Wolf Prepper channel for Dukes of Hazzard Friday Night Live. Anyway, a little bit of channel stuff. Channel's doing good. It's growing. Going down the interstate, we may have shoved up to 2 miles an hour, but we're still going forward. So that's good. Lone Wolf Prepper's now on X. I set up an X account yesterday. So, if you want to go there, a lot of the videos are the same. I'll start separating the videos. I don't exactly know what direction I'm going to take X in yet. But, and then another thing on my paranormal channel I want to start up, I need to get the right atmosphere for that. I'm definitely not going to use this studio. Okay. I got another room I can set up another studio. And I tell you what, I wish I lived next to a Spencer's if they still have them stores. But I wanna get that studio obviously more set up for the subjects I want to cover. Anyway, so that may take a little bit yet, but I'm working on it. Hey, Carol. Hi, Donald. Anyway, the comments I get, sometimes I'm a little slow. The one on eating cats, a guy left me hi Janetta. A guy left me a message in it. He had to send me a reply, so I understood what it was. But I'm getting old. My mind don't sit in the gutter like that. Happy, yeah. Thank you, Janetta. Anyway, but keep them coming. I like all the comments. Okay, and then some of my shorts are. I get to see, like when you look at the shorts, you see how many likes I get. You don't see how many dislikes I get. And I tell you what, the one I put on about Kamala's qualifications, let's just say that got as many dislikes as likes. But hey, whatever, you know, I don't like having to say it, but it's the truth. Okay, we all live in a crazy world. We don't like living in it, but we got to exist in it. So it's time to start telling the truth. But anyway, that's the deal on that. And then uh, the video I did yesterday about my bug out bag. Okay. One thing, well, we'll get right into it. Understanding a lone wolf. And the way I got my notes, I'm going to do a little different this time. By the way, the reason I got my bug out bag the way I do, okay. Now, I didn't put any type of self protection in there because I always got I'm always protected. Okay. Wherever I go, I always got a knife on me. I use them as tools and stuff. But I'm always protected. That's why I didn't put on it. There's one thing on my channel. I'm never going to put guns on there, knives on there, ammunition on there, because frankly, I don't want them knowing. Okay? I don't want to give the FBI or ATF any more information than they need before they raid my house. But that's just not what my channel's about. Okay? I'm a Second Amendment guy, but I'm not going to get on there and go outside. I can go out and shoot anytime. I could take my gun out and shoot right out this window right now. But, I just not what this channel's about. It's about organizing stuff like that. So, by the way, understanding a lone wolf. The situation I'm in now, okay, where I work now and stuff, and why my bug out bag is put up the way. And Carol, you brought up a tourniquet, okay? I wear a belt, okay? That's my tourniquet. See, sometimes you got to use your accessories for your stuff. But anyway, the reason I got my bug out bag set up the way I do is because I can tell you everywhere I go here, I got to go at least 100 to 120 miles, okay, away. So that's the way my bug out bag is set up. My bug out bag is so I can get back home where I have my horses and all my stuff I have to do for long term. Okay. So I need to get back here where I live. And that's why my bug out bag is set up. 3 days, 120 to 150 miles. And one thing, in the service, when you first went to the field, your bag was full. Pack was full. You took a lot of stuff you didn't need to take. And before you know it, your pack is half the size as it used to be. Okay, it wasn't, we were allowed to set up our packs in the service the way we wanted to when we went to the field. There was no set regulation on how they knew that you knew what you needed. Okay. And I just, like I say, that's the way I am. I'm light. Say my bag weighs about 22, 23 pounds. And I'm set to hoof 40 or 50 miles a day. So, and then I got to get back here. I live in my bug out location. All right. And one thing I forgot to mention in the video too. Put on a spare tire. Put on a spare tire. Because if things get bad, you'd be surprised at how fast that spare tire will disappear. But a spare tire should be a prep too. What am I talking about, a spare tire? Don't be afraid to put an extra inch around the midsection right now. A bear before they hibernate. That just whatever, prepare. A healthy person, if they put an inch on their waist over a couple months, ain't gonna hurt them none, and they can go to the gym and lose it a lot faster than they put it on. And then you'll just be stronger when you get done. But that is something I didn't mention. Okay. But anyway. But where I am now, I live in my bug out location. I live a lone wolf lifestyle. All right. The guy I worked with was just gone for a week. It's like I go days without seeing people. You've seen my videos about the pastures out here, where you're miles away from any type of structure. You have no cell phone service, and you're out there by yourself all day long. Now we tell each other where we're at in case, the next morning comes around and they're not there. They know where to start looking. But that's what can happen out there. I mean, Lane was doing some fencing one day, thought he has his trucking gear, and the truck came back on him, almost ran him over. Okay? We had one guy here last 4th of July. Water system was down. He was out running around on the four-wheel, probably going too fast as he should have been, and flipped it and broke his pelvis. The only thing is his girlfriend was here, and somehow his phone worked where it happened. I don't know how. My phone never's worked there. And he got a quick call to his woman. She came finding me, so we go out and find him. Otherwise, he'd have been sitting out there. Lots of people tell me, boy, you're going to die one day out there riding horse. Where you go riding horse? Well, I can't get nobody to go riding with me. And I like riding. I tell them, at least I'll die happy. Okay? But this is the situation I live in. This is why my bag's going to be different than your bag. Every situation's different. Okay. So, what else? Let me get over here. The best medical for a lone wolf is common sense. Stay healthy. I know how to stay healthy. I know how to fix my body. You're as old as we are, unless you got to get surgery or something, you should be able to handle a crisis or a broken bone or something. See, this is the thing. I'm a lone wolf, and when it comes to the medical, I'm not going to have $1,000 medical kit. I'm going to be by myself. Okay? When it comes time to make my peace with this earth, I'll make my peace with this earth and go up to the light. I don't have a problem. Okay? But, I'm not going to have $1,000 medical kit. The thing is, I look at it, if I don't use it now, never have to go to the doctor, low blood pressure, healthy, physically fit. Yeah, put my spare tire on, but Like I say, I think it's going to be necessary, and I just don't have medical issues. Not to say I can't have them in the future, but if I'm out, evading, trying to stay hid, and I end up hurting myself, if something happens, then that's just the way it is. Remember hearing about that guy? I think it was in Nevada or Utah. It might have been Utah years ago. That hiker that got caught between those two rocks, and instead of dying, he cut his arm off. Remember that story? A lot of surviving is the will to survive. Okay? Anyway, but that's the situation I'm in. That's why my bag's packed like that. Okay? I just got to get home. I'm safe at home. Like they talk about these towns that have thousands of people in them. They call it a town. 7 to 10,000 people. That's a small town. I was thinking we maybe have 6,000 people. I was thinking 7,000, but we're lucky if we have 6,000 people in the surrounding 4 counties. Carol Prince Wolf, I believe that was out in Utah. Yeah, did you remember that? But I mean, the lone wolf mentality, and I'm going to get into that. What brought me to out here, to where I am now, to why I'm a lone wolf. Okay? But it's really safe where I'm at, okay? It's just really safe. Because the few people that are here are all on the same page. And I don't care if they're Democrat. They're all on the same page, okay? Because they're not communists. I'm sure there's some Democrats, but they're not communists. And a lot of them are older that don't appreciate what happened to what they did to Joe Biden. Anyway, like I say, I don't see older people that are very happy with Kamala Harris being president. I'm going to get into that too after this. But anyway, what brought me here? What brought me to this position of being a lone wolf? This country's about to sit there and go into total chaos, civil unrest. And I'm sitting out here in the least populated place in America, loving life. I mean, that's one thing. If you watch my videos, I'm loving life. And that's what hurts me so much. Is because I had to talk to the neighbor about this. And he said, you can't feel guilty about you making the right choices. And that's what it was, is a feeling of guilt. I'm immune to all this stuff, whether it be the financial, like say I live on a little bit to no money. I mean, with what I make and what I'm able to save every month, people would fall over. That's what happens when you're debt free. He was telling me, don't feel guilty about, the decisions. I made a lot of mistakes in the past. That's why I choose not to make them now. I learned from them. Looked in the mirror and say, hey, buddy, you're screwed up. Okay? You need to fix yourself. And here I am. Happy as a clam, wanting to settle the problem so everybody else can pursuing their happiness like I am. I can't wait for that. But what brought me here? Okay. What caused me to be a lone wolf? And that's one thing. As a lone wolf, when I was married and I had my kids, obviously I would have my family with us, but it would have just been us. Okay. So I guess that's not really a lone wolf, but definitely not letting people around. Okay. What is a lone wolf? For me, I'll talk personally for me. It started when I was a little kid. Okay. I was a lot of times by myself. Carol, we've all made a share of poor decisions. Yeah, but we learned from them. See, this is the thing. When you get to our age, we learn from them. This is why the cops don't bother us, because, well, he's smart. It's nice to be able to drive my 91 Ford with my gray hair and my dress like I'm a rancher driving down the road. They don't look at me, not that I speed. I wear my seatbelt and all that stuff. I don't even get looked at twice. Okay? It's just, yeah. But these people that are going on now, they're not learning from their mistakes. They're blaming everybody else. It's our fault, remember? The problem in Ohio isn't the immigrants' fault. The illegal immigrants is because we're not understanding enough. I'll get into that too. That is just such crap. Soon to be coming to a town near you. Okay? Like that video I made. Venezuela coming to your front door. Well, now we got Haiti coming to your front door. Literally. But anyway, it's a personality trait. Like say I grew up being a loner. It's like I never really fit in. I had very few friends. And sometimes I didn't have any friends. But that didn't bother me. I learned to depend on myself. I learned, that I didn't have a lot of trust in people. I didn't, they used me and hurt me and, whatever. Okay. But I just didn't fit in, you know. And like I say, it's personality trait. Okay. I don't think I'm Rambo. I never said that. I think, oh, I'm just a superhuman guy that don't need nobody. No, I'm better by myself mentally. And I guarantee you, anybody that would want to be around me would agree with that. Hey, our group's better without you here. I don't have a problem with that. Okay. One thing in the service, you see everything in black and white. There's no gray area. And a lot of civilians, like I'll get into that, the problems I had when I first got out. They didn't understand me. But anyway, yeah, it's just, you can ask anybody who knows me. I was watching with my kids' mother. We were watching Castaway. Okay. And she looks over at me and she goes, "You wouldn't even want to get off that island. This would be a boring movie if you were there." I mean, just the way I am. Not that I'm not sociable and I can talk and I'm friendly. The thing is, I don't want to get into people's battles. I'd rather wave to you and say hi. Okay. This is one thing about human beings. All they do is want to hate, have a disgusting look on their face, have a reason to be mad at you and stuff. And I can be an angry person, but I'd rather be a happy person. I don't like getting angry. And that's what you have these days. Why would I get in with a group that after a day or two is going to be driving me nuts? I have faith in my abilities and confidence in myself. I let's just say in the Marine Corps, I learned to be able to take care of myself. But anyway, we'll start out childhood. Okay, making me a lone wolf. Like I say, I didn't fit in. I spent a lot of time on my own. You know, I was always an outdoorsy person. I remember going to the parks, and the first thing I do is run off by myself. I was always building forts, whether it been in the grove in the summertime or in the snowbanks in the wintertime. Then it's just playing. But do you realize the skills I was learning? How to build a fire, all this. I was never in the Boy Scouts, but all us brothers would be out in the grove. We didn't have video games. We weren't allowed to use a telephone. The TV wasn't allowed to be on. We got kicked outside. Look at all those skills I learned. Those bushcraft skills. And that's one thing. When you get out, those 3 days I got to travel, if I have to travel 3 days, I mean, I can take care of myself. Okay. All this stuff I learned as a kid, and then the being alone part. I learned that wasn't such a bad thing. I think a lot of people need that human connection where I connected with nature, where I felt more comfortable. We go to family reunions at Plum Creek Park there in Walnut Grove, Minnesota. I would go off. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm pretty much a loner myself for the most part. It's just me and my dogs. My husband is a truck driver and comes home once a month, but I don't have friends by that's by choice. Well, it just it's people are getting untrustworthy and unsafe to be around. Okay. And you know as well as I do, nothing wrong with being alone. By the way, as a kid, we go to family reunions down at Plum Creek Park there in Minnesota, Walnut Grove. And I'd be running off, that's a place I gone to over 50 years. I go running off to the woods, always by myself. You know, I just that's where I was, go out, talk to the trees, as I'd say. Okay. Go out on the newest adventure. I had a wild imagination where I'd be out in those woods by myself. And I even up to this day, it's still walking by myself through the trees, go up to Minnesota. I just can't get a lot of people to do that. Oh, and one thing too about remember this, Carol. As your childhood, we sat there and we grew up tough. How many rides did you ever get from your parents to go somewhere? If you want to go see a friend, you went and saw a friend. They didn't pick you up. You want to go somewhere. I mean, I lived out in the country. In the wintertime, if I wanted to go over and see the neighbors and play with the neighbors, I had to walk through the field in the wintertime. We'd dress up and we'd walk. I'm just saying. It teaches you to be tough. You endure. Here, I want to go do this, and I'll do whatever it takes to get that done. That's what you learn from that. Okay. Um. I talk about the forts, the snow forts we'd make. I remember the winters we used to have in the 70s. Oh my goodness, we used to get snow. I mean, the blizzard. I think it was blizzard of 75. I think it was. It was just terrible. We didn't have school for over a week. I mean, I remember it was 3 days where we had to tie a rope to my stepfather while I did chores so he could find back to the house. Yeah, one of them. And when it cleared, the only thing you could see on the cars was the top of the antenna. It was crazy. But then again, I've seen pictures from the 19 teens where, these small towns where they got so much snow, it's up to the top of the roof of the building, and they shoveled that whole main street out by hand. Crazy, huh? But anyway, one thing about when we were growing up, remember the buses on plowed roads only when it came to school. And the nice thing about it is our road was always the last road plowed because the road we lived on was always the worst because we had this one tree in our yard that was by the road. I can't remember I can't remember what kind of tree, big one though. But anyway, you'd always get this huge drift. I mean, the grader would come through with the big V plow on there and just smash into it and back up and smash into it and back up. It was crazy. The county finally made him cut that tree down. We used to have some winters, and you're out there playing in the stuff. It's just like you grew up with nothing bothering you. You learned to deal with the heat and the cold. It was just part of life. Like I said, I grew up in the upstairs. We didn't have heat. That's what you had quilts for. I mean, you couldn't raise a kid the way we were raised. And I'm sure Carrie Wolf, you want to talk about snow? I used to live in Detroit. Yeah. And I'm sure you probably didn't have heat in your upstairs, did you? You didn't have AC upstairs. We didn't have AC in the house at all. And we lived through it. Like, say, if you raised kids like we were raised, you'd be thrown in jail. Okay? Oh, yeah, I remember that first snow. The winters in 1970, in the early 80s or something, in the mid 80s, it started slowing down. It comes in cycles. But anyway, and then else did I learn growing up? Okay, since I lived on a farm, I learned about animals, how to raise animals, how to butcher animals. Carol, nope, we had box fans. That was RAC. Yeah, I didn't even have a fan. Parents did, but I didn't even get a fan. I remember those hot summer days. Oh my God, that was miserable. Now, people don't understand the type of humidity that Minnesota gets. I'm sure Detroit, up there in the upper Midwest and stuff. Oh, yeah, with all that water. I mean, I've been running on a concrete floor before, took a corner and went sliding because the walls are just sweating, the floor's sweating with moisture. Yeah, but we endured. That made us tough. And that's one thing. As a lone wolf, you have to be tough. You can't, you just have to be tough. You have to feel confident in yourself, be knowing that you can go through anything. Okay. So, and then the basic prepping skills I learned as a kid. Like I say, butchering animals, raising animals. I lived in North Carolina and the humidity sucked. Yeah. I was at Camp Lejeune when we weren't deployed. I would turn my green t shirts orange because of my sweat. My black combat boots, I'd have salt. Easy to see the salt coming out the leather from my feet. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Then I'd sit there and exercise and that stuff. We'd get done with stuff, boom, I'd just headed to the gym for my first 3 mile run, and then I'd end up at the gym. By the way, and also the skills gardening, okay? How to can. My mom never bought jellies. We never bought vegetables. She bought peanut butter and some meats at the store, and it just, being poor back then. Oh yeah, Fort Bragg. We were there for a few times, training with the airborne out there. But anyway, you know, these are all things that, as a kid, get out there and pick some mulberries. I'm making jelly today. Go pick some strawberries, raspberries. I mean, we had every berry you can think of, rhubarb. Okay? When you were poor back then, you were poor. Not like these, we didn't have what the rich kids had. Not like today where everybody's got the same. If you don't got it, you whine a little bit and the government will get it for you. Oh, Carol, what's the military activity been like there at Fort Bragg? I mean, have you been seeing extra exercises, just more traffic? I'm just wondering about that stuff. I live out here. I don't see no military traffic. I don't know what's going on. I hear about it, but I don't know if living next to a military base is a good thing or a bad thing these days. It may just be an easier way to sit there and for them to round you up. Anyway, it's crazy. And then I talked about my bushcrafting skills. What kid, or when we were growing up, didn't love going down to the river at night with your fishing pole and camping out with your friends or camping out by yourself? You know, I tell you what, these kids with the video games and all this stuff that keeps them in their room, they have missed out on a lot of stuff. I remember as kids, we worked hard, but we played just as hard. Okay. And that's one thing I learned as a kid. I learned to be a good, hard worker that took pride in his work and endured in all climates, which has helped me dearly through my whole life. Okay. So, and especially as a lone wolf, Carol, a lot of Chinooks flying over lately. I just, I'll get into that, but the October surprise. Okay. Anyway, that's part of the deal. But I learned how to be a good worker, a hard worker, a respectful worker to their boss, take pride in my work. This is the thing. If I'm going to waste my time to do it, I'm going to do 100% right. I don't chicken dick anything. Why waste the time then? That's the way I look at it. The last thing I hate is going behind somebody after they screwed everything up and it takes you 4 hours to unscrew it to do 2 hours worth of work. Anybody ever run into that? Okay. What are other things I did? Sports, physical conditioning. That was one thing when we were kids, especially when you got up to doing sports. You went to school. First, you got up and did chores. Then you went to school. Then you went to sports. And then after sports, they had a late bus that would drive around the country and take everybody in sports home. That was you have to pay for. You got home and you had to do chores, had to do your homework. Carol Prince, the military is getting ready for the Robin Sega training exercise next week. I haven't heard of that one. Is that a newer one? I never heard of that one. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, we did all this, right? And these kids are complaining they ain't got time for nothing. I mean, how? How did we do it? And still get our homework done, still get our chores done, compete good in sports. In sports, when I went to school, you had to have good grades or you weren't in sports. Okay? You definitely weren't allowed to get away with what these kids are doing now in school and play sports. Okay, I don't know. Last time I was in Fayetteville or Fort Bragg was 89, so that's been a while. Anyway, yeah, I have some good memories of Fort Bragg. I really do. I'm sure the military is different everywhere, but you get on the ground side and those guys are really pounding it and stuff. You all have the same mentality. You all wear the same green uniform. It just may be from a different branch. But I had some really good times at Fort Bragg. I really did. So anyway, one thing I did too, another skill I learned, trapping. A junior and senior in high school, I had my trap line that that was nothing. Get up every morning, do my trap line, which was stretched out for miles. Okay, I'd get on the 3-wheeler, was freezing butt cold, and get out there and check my traps, get everything I collected, and they'd go and I would wait till I got home from school. Hey, Tom, happy Friday. And I'd get home from school because the thing is, my sports is football, wrestling, and I played a lot of basketball. I really didn't like playing with the jerk off. So, hey, Street Downtown used to be the happening place back in the day. Oh, I don't even get into that. I miss the old days so bad. Cruising. Remember cruising? Oh, these kids don't even do that no more. Friday and Saturday nights, if you didn't have a car, you hoped somebody that was driving would stop, pick you up, and cruise all night through town. People sitting on the benches at the four-way stop. The town, just to what we got now. It's sad. Carol Prince, Donald, yep, you're washing your car for Friday. Uh-oh. Donald, they just YouTube. Oh, I got Google here. Be careful, everybody. Google's listening. Donald, they didn't like what you had to say. Everybody better be hating themselves now. So that means I better start talking bad trash, huh? Boy, you're starting to, the channel's growing when you got Google and YouTube and deleting it because I don't delete messages. One thing when the channel does get big, I do need moderators, and obviously, Carol, you're going to be one. And I don't know if Donald wants to, but I don't know why they erased it. I read it, but it says message restricted. Anyway, whatever. This is the world we live in. But like I say, YouTube, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to voice my opinion on YouTube. And hopefully one day we can drop our political differences and become a country again. Okay? Yeah, especially after that one message, Carol. Yeah. I wish they would have printed that one, but you can understand why they took that off. Anyway, all right. We're on trapping and skinning. See, this is all animals and stuff. These are skills I picked up just as a kid. Just as a kid. And then in school, not only did I take advanced math classes and all that other stuff, but I also made sure 7th through 12th grade, I always took industrial arts, woodworking. And then we did metaling. How to do metals, use the metal lathe and everything. Welding. And then, like I said, I think it was 10th grade, the first half of the year, I think it was the first half of the year, we had to make house plans, a complete set of house plans like architecture makes. Inside, outside, the whole works. So I can build my own house plans. Just what I learned in school. What other person in high school is learning that these days? Heck, you showed them a stencil of what architects use for their house drawings. They wouldn't even know what they're looking at. It's crazy. The knowledge that was given to me growing up that I am so happy I got. Yeah, you don't realize it when you're learning it. But now it's like, yeah, and now I'm in electronics, so I can wire my house. I know how to get water. If I didn't have to deal with the government, I could build my own house and not have to worry about it. This is all what I learned in school growing up. I ain't even an adult yet. Anyway, this is what kids are sadly lacking in. They don't understand the school we had, the responsibilities we had as kids. Yeah, the kids can't read clocks. I had to teach my daughter how to read clocks. And this was 2009, 10. They don't teach cursive no more. I saw a meme that was so funny. I'd read the Constitution, but it's written in cursive. Do you realize us older folks now have a secret code that we can write down and talk to each other in now? The thing is, these schools are thinking these kids ain't this smart. Like in Oregon, when I think they took it off so minorities aren't held to the same standards as the whites when it comes to math and biology and chemistry and stuff. If I was a black mom, I'd have walked into that principal's office, beat his ass, and said, what, you think my son or daughter's too stupid to learn that? Do your job and teach them. What parent's going to sit there and be told that their kid's not smart enough to learn something? So we're going to give them Easy Street. Easy Street definitely don't lead to a better life, at least the dependency. Yeah, Morse code. I used to know Morse code. That's happened. You don't use stuff for a while. But this thing. Prepare for Little House on Prairie days. That's what it's going to go back to. Okay, when this country crashes, but that'll be after the fact. These kids will be lost. Yeah, well, the kids these days, if they were in a house full of canned food and you gave it a can opener, even if they knew how to use it, they would think it was too much work to have to open a can to feed himself. That's just like where the world's going. Like I say, the human race is going to make itself extinct because pretty soon they're just going to be too damn lazy to do anything and too stupid. I mean, what happens when you got 20-year-olds with the mentality of a 3-year-old having babies? The caveman were smarter. Yeah, the can opener also. That's the way to put it. I mean, to us, it sounds stupid. Like I say, all these skills I learned growing up as a kid, I just took it as that was part of growing up. Now you got to go to college to learn this stuff. Okay, but that's what I was as a child. Okay, so I was learning skills, become isolating myself. Okay, not becoming antisocial, but I just didn't fit in. Okay, so then I go get out of high school, and 3 days later, I'm in the Marine Corps. Little yellow footprints. Cool, huh? Anyway, the Marine Corps did a lot of good things for me. Okay, obviously gave me a lot of skills. My grandson both went one to Coast Guard, one to just finished Army. Yep. But that turns you into a man. It really does. It teaches you responsibility. That's one thing that people, civilians don't understand, and that stresses military guys out. We come out, you guys think we don't know how to do a goddamn thing. When we were in charge of multi-million-dollar equipment, okay, and everything else, and you guys, you're joining service, you're a Gomer Pyle. No, especially with the way the service was becoming. Teach them how to survive without mommy and daddy. Thing is, their mommy and daddies don't know how to survive. Yeah, no manners, no respect. You know, until we start spankings again, and parents aren't allowed to raise their kids, and parents want to raise their kids, that's another thing. One of my brothers is retired Army, and the other is retired Air Force. Well, I didn't get to retire. I wanted to. I went in, I was going to be a 20-year man, 30 years if they'd let me. But no, 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 no. After 8 years, in Clinton's back in 93, when he first got in office, and they started cutting the military, they cut the military by 25%. That means the Marine Corps was at 206,000, had to get rid of 52,000 Marines in 3 years. Okay, well, just stop recruiting. Still need to fill the problem stages. What they did was they ran like a big business. At the time, I was in a very small MOS. It only had 52 people in it. They cut it to 26. 26 people doing what I did in the Marine Corps. Well, there wasn't 26 when they came up with that number, so they had to get rid of us. And when you went up for reenlistment, you got a message back, said name Marine denied reenlistment due to force reductions, said name Marine is authorized severance pay. Thank you for your service. Yeah, that was the message. And the thing is, there were guys that had 18 years in that they did this to. Can you imagine being 2 years from retirement and getting screwed over by your government? And then they sit there and take, thing is, when you get out of service, unless you retire, you want to be a civilian. Okay? Then you take somebody that's all gung-ho, completely brainwashed, and you make them a civilian and don't expect problems. Anyway, but let's get back to how the Marine Corps helped me in my lone wolf. They made me into a man, okay? And I learned in the ground side, I learned how to fight in every climate, winter, snow to desert, and everything in between. I mean, Like I said, I really traveled the world and stuff. But yeah, we lived out in the snow and the trees for 8 weeks. Those southern boys, they were hurting at first, but they learned, I grew up in Minnesota, but I learned a lot of stuff out there. One big thing is in the morning, because people dehydrate easy in the snow. And they'd always have to watch us go to the bathroom. Everybody'd have to line up and go to the bathroom, and they'd walk down the line and look at the color of it. And it better not be black. It's just the way they checked your health. Yep. See you, Donald. Have a good one. So I haven't been able to catch you live lately, but I've been busy. But I was hoping you go live before I went live tonight. I want to sit down and just do my notes and listen to you. But anyway. So anyway, and the one thing about when I was all 18-year-old boys think you're big, tough, and bulletproof, right? You're a badass, right? Boy, I tell you what, after the first year and a half in the Marine Corps, I realized how stupid I was when I used to think that, when they turned you into a badass. But anyway, in the stress you're under. See, this is the thing. When this all goes down, the average civilian is not going to be used to the stress. And it's not like you first day of boot camp, you're used to the stress. That's why you go through your time in the service. That's why you're always training. They're always, got you sometimes stressing you out. Okay, you lose your head in a firefight, you're dead. You can't act on emotion. You got to focus on what needs to be done. God, I'm at 45 minutes already. I haven't even got. Anyway, okay. We're going to move on. But anyway, it turned me into a man. And I learned a lot of skills, obviously with weapons, self-defense. They turned us into killers. What else can you say? We weren't there to sit there and make coffee. All right. And then I got an education in electronics too. When I re-enlisted, when I had to re-enlist the first time, they disbanded our battalion. That's why we had 9/11. But I'm not going to go into that. And I had to let move. And then I got into where I got an education. So basically, I got screwed twice. First, they cut us because we don't need those units no more. That's what caused 9/11. And then they just said they didn't need us no more after they spent all that money on us. That was one thing too. It didn't matter how much money they spent on training you. They just got rid of you. All right, yeah, I still got a long ways to go. It may be a couple hours. I'm glad you're with me, Carol. Anyway, I'm getting more on the replay and stuff. And this is the thing. I watch my replay too because I want to critique myself. The only way I'm going to get better at this is to critique myself. In my posture, I know I touch my face a lot, stuff like that. I'm trying to get better at that, and the phrases I use. But, I'm trying to be a good YouTuber. Obviously, if you would have told me anybody I knew 2 years ago that Tom's going to be a YouTuber, they would have laughed, including me. But then again, Oliver Anthony came up with that song, "This country's completely messed up, and I feel I need to do something." That's why I'm passionate here. Okay? Okay, Tom, get back on the subject, Lone Wolf. And then the civilian life. Okay, like you said, I got forced out. $12,000 and a thank you. Yeah, they had to give us severance pay. $12,000 and a thank you. Here's the civilian world. Okay, I had a lot of problems in the civilian world at first. I mean, I got a good job at first. I had a good job, but I tried to create friends, and they just didn't understand where you come from. When you're the only one in a building that is been through what you've been through, nobody can identify with you. Especially like I was gung ho, very dedicated to my work, and these people are lackadaisy, and you're a great YouTuber, but just don't start scratching your ass. You were good. No, I won't do that. Carol, I love your sense of humor, man. Yeah, when are you going to get on YouTube so I can see your video for a message to Kamala? Just one video, 10 minutes, just one video. You know, the first video I did on YouTube was like 2021, I think. And then I didn't do a video until it was almost 2 years before I did another video. Okay, until Oliver Anthony came on with that song, and I was like, I need to do something. Okay. But anyway, yeah, I didn't fit in. You know, my lead once told me I need to go to Personality 101. I told him I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to do my job. You know, the execs all love me. I stood out. I made the company a lot of money. I basically, when I got in that one part of it, I took over 4 people's job. You see, I learned a lot about the civilian world. That was a bunch of lazy idiots. I mean, the education they got. Everybody teases military schools. Well, let me tell you about my military school about electronics. I went through 2 years of school in 6 months. Plus, I was in charge of Marines, 52 Marines that I had to take care of. And every time I got promoted in the Marine Corps, I got 1 hour less sleep a night. And we still had our PT, all our other stuff. And I found out when I went to that civilian company how much different it is between a civilian education and a military education. Let me tell you what I learned. As long as you keep giving money to a college, they'll keep passing you. The last thing they're going to do is fail you to get rid of the money. I found a lot, electronics, a lot of math. I found a lot of people that, let's say I was doing 4 people's work. Okay. Like I say, people couldn't understand me. I mean, I used to we had these solder bars, okay? They were a foot long and they were about that wide and maybe about that thick, right? And one night it's what they used to put in the solder bath to fill up the solder bath. Well, anyway, one day I was like, not much to do. I looked over at one and said, I wonder if I can bend that. Yeah, I took that thing, got all the way, bent her all the way, right? But I didn't bend it back. Well, anyway, I had bent a couple of them. Well, they came in the morning, right? Because I worked a 4 to midnight shift. They came in next morning. And I got talked to at 4:00. What happened to these solder bars? I said, what happened? I said, I bent them by hand. They go, no, you didn't. No way you did. I said, yeah, watch this shit. And then they challenged me. I had to bend it back straight. Now, that was a little harder, but I was able to do it. But a lot of guys tried. But that was just me. That was Tom being Tom. Okay, obviously I was a lot better shape when I was in my 20s. But I'm still in good shape now. But I was definitely in excellent shape then. But that's why I'm a lone wolf. That's why I'm here the way I am here now. I socialize with people great, but I just don't fit in long term. I don't know what it is, okay? It's just that's me. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like I say, I don't think I'm superior to anybody. I just don't want to sit there and be in an SHTF situation driving other people crazy. I have a very unique personality. You either like me or you hate me. There's really no in between. Okay. So anyway, that's explaining a lone wolf. It's a personality trait. All right. And everybody takes their chance. Me, I believe the biggest threat in SHTF is going to be people. And I don't care how strong your mag is. We'll see. We'll see. You're not dealing with a Marine Corps squad. You're going to be dealing with a high stress environment with people that aren't used to dealing with it. And, are they going to stand up for you and save your life? Oh, your husband's name is Tom? Is he an independent trucker or does he truck for a company? My brother used to be a trucker, and I tell you what, when I could take the chance and I could sit in that cab with him and just go ride to the country for a week, I used to love it. I used to love it. I just listen to Louis L'Amour tapes. Yeah, the audio dynamite tapes and cruising the interstate and company driver. Well, I don't know how these over-the-road these independent operators make it anyway. What is the going price per mile now? $2.50? I remember when fuel went up to what was it, buck 50? They were giving surcharges to the drivers and stuff. Anyway, but now let's talk about Democrats destroying themselves. Okay. One thing, I told you about the debate, how that smirk on her face, Kamala's face was so stressful because she's condescending. Okay, what happened at that debate? I think it woke up a lot of Americans. Realize that it's us against them. 3 against 1, the Trump, those moderators, whatever. But she's condescending, talking down to people. Like she's Marie Antoinette. I saw a meme of that, her dressed as Marie Antoinette. I hope the same thing happens to her. Oh, here, I'm going to offer you this. I'm going to give you this. You're going to give it? Who's paying for this? Are you taking it out of your pocket and giving it to them? I tell you what, these politicians are offering people stuff. They ought to pay for it. Since when do they get in office and can promise people money from my pocket? That's got nothing to do with the Constitution. Okay, I know they use the welfare clause for welfare. Not what it's there for. Anyway, but she's a lying piece of crap. And we're going to get into Ohio, but to her reaction to that when Trump said that, okay, and I'm sure all those liberals that are watching it were just eating it up. Yeah, he's getting at her, he's picking at him and stuff. Yeah. Oh, anger and hate. All she's expressing is anger and hate directed at him. And like I say, she doesn't ever answer any policy questions. Biggest liar. She's a commie. Okay? She's for fracking. Yep, lying. But like I say, she could be because when Saudi Arabia shuts us off, we're going to need oil from somewhere. And then, the wall, communists build walls to keep people in. And then all these tax credits, buying votes. Here, we'll give you more money. You know what? Get rid of the IRS. She's talking about so people have money to buy their kids clothes and what they need for their children, food. Stop taking money out of their paycheck. Your boss could actually give you a raise if he didn't have to deal with the IRS and an accountant. You'd have more money in your pocket. The public could have more money. So that means the economy would thrive. Every time the government takes $1 out of the economy, some business hurts. So all you businesses that are for all these, these taxes, pay more money, remember, you're losing customers and money because of that. Because if the government takes $2 from me, that's $2 that I don't have to spend at your store. But don't worry, they'll give it to the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio. Okay, but obviously from the debate performance, they thought they were going to get a big old boost. Oh, not so fast. Like I say, you guys playing your hand a little bit too much. What you like? Okay, you people are some evil, crooked pricks. And the way you went after Trump, anybody who's ever been picked on before saw what happened. Everybody knows, and then the rumors about her wearing an earpiece and whatever. Okay, and then that one moderator. Well, we called the city manager in Ohio. There's no complaints. So you call the city manager about police reports, right? So when you call 911, it goes to the city manager's office, right? Not the police department, right? Good job, ABC. Good research on that. Next time you go to the doctor, make sure you stop at the vet first to make sure you're human. Oh, another, I'll get when I get to Ohio. You want to wait on that. And then Kamala gets out there, talks her shit, condescends, talks down everybody. Won't hold a press conference. Won't hold no real interviews. Why don't you just come out and talk for an hour once? Like I say, it ain't going to matter. They're going to cheat. And that's why I say November 6th, the can hits the wall. Because there is one conservative out there that's going to allow her to be president. Okay? And that thing where she's losing. Okay? Yeah, she's losing in the polls. It doesn't matter. We all know realistically she'll be lucky to get 10% of the vote. But like Stalin said, it doesn't matter who casts the vote, it matters who counts it. And now, since it doesn't even matter who counts it, because it matters who controls Dominion computers, the machines. I can't believe this country. Okay. What's another thing they're losing? They sit there and say they're getting all these voters. Really? I'm seeing on YouTube is liberals saying they're going to vote for Trump. Many they were wrong and been duped. And a lot of them are women. Who's voting for you, Kamala? There ain't 90 million communists in this country. And illegals aren't going to be able to vote. Okay? But these videos of these women, they are not happy. Like I say, if I was a woman, a strong woman, and I had to look at Kamala and say, that's going to be the first woman vice president? No way. And then you got Jesse Ventura on CNN losing his mind, saying he wants Kamala to be the first woman president because he don't have many years left and he wants to see one before he dies. Well, you're going to die a lot sooner then, buddy, because oh my God, Jesse Ventura, are you kidding me? I hope if that happens to me, my kids just walk me down a path somewhere and say, keep walking, Dad. You ain't going to have a country left. Yeah, you'll see your first woman president just before the country actually obviously implodes. I mean, does that mean, Jesse, that when the war starts, you're going to be fighting on the Democrat side? Because war starting, I just want everybody to know. The war, civil unrest, civil war, revolutionary war, partisan war, whatever you're going to call the war. Carol, Wolf, did you know that Harris has stock in Dickies? That's as a politician, you shouldn't be able to own any stock. If you make laws and sign laws pertaining to making money, look how Nancy Pelosi got so rich. Or what's that stupid broad from Cortez? Got that condo in New York and stuff. from a bartender to all of a sudden millionaires. Like I say, when the truth ever comes out about Washington, none of them people are going to be safe. Especially Carol. Yeah, that's where she gets her knee pads. Well, you guys are blowing right over my head. All right, all right, all right. I like it. I like it. God, Carol, you just don't like her at all, huh? Just imagine if you get him 3 minutes in the ring with her. Anyway, um, anyway, the videos, right? And like you say, colored haired ones that are pure liberals, are waking up. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just like I say, they see all of us living good lives, and they want to live a good life, and maybe they're figuring it out. Oh, it's up to me to make that instead of trying to take his good life and give it to me. I got to make my own. And we need to bring a country back where they have an opportunity to do that. Okay. Yeah, all of us are realizing who our enemy is. Like Kamala, you did a piss poor performance. Yep. You won the debate by cheating your ass off and just acting like an obnoxious 5-year-old. Lying in the moderators. Fact check, fact check. Well, it looks like you guys were all wrong. Anyway, everybody realizes we're all in the same mess. Okay. And then they got Joe embarrassing himself out there. Let me tell you something about the mega hat situation. I know this may not be happy with some people, but this is from my military days. Okay, I don't believe he won the election. But number one, let's get that straight. But we all allowed him to become president. So we got to accept that responsibility that he's president and we weren't able to do nothing about it. But when the president walks into a room, he's supposed to, people stand up. Him and Kamala are getting absolutely no respect. It's making our country look bad. We have these leaders in charge of our nuclear weapons, and not one American respects him. Okay, at that firehouse, that guy's calling Biden an old fart. This is the thing. Yeah, it shows them that they're a messed up bunch, but us acting like them isn't going to make us a better person. It's just a fucked up situation. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel embarrassed. I feel, I would have at least addressed him as Mr. President. By the way, what the Democrats are doing to him. Like that, I made that video, that short. If that was your father out there, okay. Oh, I lost everybody. Anyway, yeah, they're just losing respect. Now, what could we possibly see for the October surprise? That could be interesting. What could happen in October? Could they do World War III? I don't know. Yeah, the Democrats can't lose. There's so much crooked stuff they have done, so much money laundering and money they spent. There's just a lot of bad stuff happened over the last 4 years. So they got to try to cover their ass. But is it going to be Kamala takes over as president whether because Joe dies or, becomes incapable, giving her a little bit of sympathy vote. It's going to be civil unrest. Okay, we definitely got that coming. I mean, just look in Ohio. We're going to have a Tet offensive by all the illegal immigrants that have been coming up from the border. Is that what's going to happen? What are they going to do? They're going to try to push no election? The thing is, she don't have a chance. They know this and we know this. Like you say, they want another debate right away. Really? If you kicked his butt so bad and got your point across, what do you need another debate for? But Trump said no, thank God, because he don't need to sit there and put himself through this anymore. Anyway, I'm just October isn't too far away. Is it going to be smooth sailing to the election? I don't know. But just get prepared. All right, let's talk a little bit about Springfield, Ohio. This is a prelude to what's coming to this country. All right, where do I got that? Oh, where do I got that? I don't even know where I did with that. Boy, where am I? I'm lost. Okay, Ohio, you got a town over the last few years, like 5 or 6 years, a town of 58,000 that have 20,000 illegals in it now. Could you imagine that? That's over 30. That's over 33%. Carol Prince Wolf, in my opinion, doesn't matter if the election's right or left. There's going to be, See, there's got to be. There's no other choice in it anymore. And this is what I'm trying to tell people. We have allowed this to happen. We are at this door. November 6th is the end of the wall. Okay? We're gonna have to end this with a fight, because I'm not going to give up and they're not going to give up, especially since they're the ones in power and they can scream louder, but we all can shoot better. Okay? But it ain't going to matter. The thing is, they say the Democrats want to turn this country into chaos. I don't believe so. Maybe control chaos, but they can't let it get out. They can't let the nuclear reaction get out of control. To get out of control, well, especially if we don't stay organized on our side, it's going to turn into the French Revolution, which is going to kill anybody who thought they wanted to be in charge. But it's got to be the apple core is rotten. We need to go back to the basics. Okay? And then set in a few more rules. Amendments to the Constitution from lessons we learned. I don't want to go to a constitutional convention, because then you can change a whole lot of stuff. And you have big money sit there affecting the delegates. That's why I don't want a constitutional convention. Because what are you going to come out if you have a constitutional convention? What are you going to come up with the immoral people in it? Let's stick with the document that was made by immoral people. Okay. Okay, back to the illegals. Social services there is being overrun. And the Americans come second. The Haitians first, because we got to protect them. Whether temporary protective status. What the hell kind of crap is that? They're illegals. Just another term for, so they don't call them an illegal alien. And the thing is, they're bringing them in. Our government's bringing them in. I mean, do you think anybody's going to vote Democrat in Springfield, Ohio anymore? No, let's hear what they're dealing with. Okay, just in case you Democrats don't understand, okay? Social services are being ruined, and the Americans are finding out they're second-class citizens compared to the illegals here. The illegals are getting the jobs, plus, let's see. This is one thing. We have rules against hiring illegals. All these rules are being broken. What happened to having to file an I-9? You don't have to do that anymore? I'm really sick and tired of Americans that hire illegals. Tired of it. You get rid of the jobs, they won't come up here. If they can't make no money up here and they can't receive no money from social services and they're arrested, they won't come up here no more. Why wouldn't you go to the end of the rainbow when it's offering you the pot of gold? Remember where these people come from? The bum in the street is the pot of gold. So they're living higher than they ever thought. $3,000 a month in rent assistance. And then you got landlords that are renting beds and making accounts. You got American greed, crony capitalism taking advantage of this crap, taking advantage of you taxpayers. Okay, so now you only got employers that are pieces of garbage. Now you got landlords that are taking advantage of it. Why would I hire you if I can hire this other guy for $10 under the table? And I won't get in trouble for it. You know, all these people in these houses, fire codes, none of these municipal codes need to be enforced, are going to be enforced. How come I am sick and tired of following rules when nobody else laws and nobody else has to? What laws do I get to get up in the morning and say, I don't want to follow that law. I'm going to do whatever I want today. You know, people don't feel safe in that town. I heard one lady talk, it was at the city council meeting where her and her husband are moving out. Lived their whole life and they're moving out. The husband says, time to go. Americans are having to move out after retiring, after working your whole life, pursuing your happiness and getting comfortable. Now you got to leave your town because your government has a bunch of illegals in there that are, you know, just causing a lot of problems. The accidents. How are these people? What happens if you are driving without a license, without insurance, and you get in an accident? What happens to you? These people know. I mean, if they do have driver's license, how are they getting them? An American citizen can't get nothing without a birth certificate or a social security card. How are these people doing it? Okay? Rules, okay, we're helping them out. Helping them out. You want to help them out? Kick them back to their country and tell them to fix their own goddamn country instead of destroy ours. Okay, and then with the driving accidents, people's insurance rates in towns are going up. Every way the Americans get screwed. And these guys, you know, they call it their bank card, the magic card or whatever. Because never runs out of money. The thing is, what happens to these people when the magic card don't work no more? We're headed to a third world country, people. If it's not because we go financially broke first, it's because they imported the third world country here in all these towns. I mean, you talk about a town, 58,000 small town. Compared down here, where would I have to go? I don't even think Rapid City's that big, is it? I'd have to go. I don't even have to know how far I have to go, but you know, and that's destroying them. See, we'll never have to worry about that here. They're never going to go to Whitman and drop a bunch of people off. For one thing, nobody here to take care of them. social service would take care of him, and the sheriff would arrest him. So I guess all you big city, I'll call 60,000 to me is a big city. You're going to be dealing with this. Kick them the hell out. Citizens should almost be deputized to handle this immigration problem. Anyway, compliments of our government. Our government can't see us and come out and say, it's not going on. Okay, like I said, I brought up the ABC calling the city manager, not the police department, for police reports. Good job, ABC. But hey, you passed it on because all the dummies that are believing you honestly believe that you actually tried. Doesn't matter all the evidence you have, the pictures you have, the police reports you have. You had somebody say that was false and come out and went, ha, 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 ha. Condescending, which they wonder why they're losing votes. Who wants to be talked to like that from that woman? Remember, she hasn't received a single vote yet. And if the Democrats have their way, she never will have to receive a vote to become president. Just think if they put her in, canceled the election. Just saying, but it could never happen, right? I mean, I can't even imagine what it's like living in Springfield, Ohio. If I would have to live there. I mean, preppers, I hope if you're in Springfield, Ohio, you're prepping. You're getting you're bugging in. You better get ready to bug in. Because 20,000 against 58,000? And Americans are soft. Your town's in danger. That was the population of Springfield, Ohio, and because they're saying it's 58,000 on the news. Oh, population here. I'm sorry. Yeah. Have you seen them drop? I mean, Carol, have you seen this stuff with the illegals piling up and dropping the buses off and stuff? Have you been seeing this stuff? Crazy. I mean, stay safe. I don't have many friends, but I haven't met you before or talked to you in person, but, you're here all the time. I guess I'd call that loyalty, and, you get that from friends. I appreciate it. Stay safe. I hope when your husband's out on the road and he's able to get home quick. Drop that trailer and bobtail his ass home. Those semis can go real fast when they don't have a trailer behind them. And they can pick up speed real fast. My brother did that once. He said, watch this thing. I say, holy shit. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, and then eating the pets. Okay. Saying it's a lie. And that's everything us conservatives see. It's a lie. All our facts are lies. No matter how much proof it is, it's a lie. And that's all they do is sit over there and cackle. Yeah. The people you have let in and then bragging, 50,000 Haitians and then 100,000. Stop bringing people in. This is not allowed by the federal government. They're supposed to secure our borders, not bring illegals in our borders. But we need, we're going to find out eventually what the whole purpose behind this is. Hopefully we find out by taking this garbage over, getting the memos and the documents on this. I'm telling you, when this all goes down, we take our country back. We need a Nuremberg 2.0. Not only for politicians, but for pharmaceutical execs, social media platform execs, all these people. And that's one thing when Trump gets into office. There's so many things I want to do, but chaos has come. It doesn't matter. We can all want Trump to do this, that, and the other thing. Okay? We need a war. Okay? This is what's coming down to. We need a war. No other way around it. I'm not going to retire into the garbage, the future that they want to plan for this country. I'm not going to allow it. I don't care if 90% of the goddamn population of the United States wants communism. We are still the United States of America, a constitutional republic. And I don't care how much of the population wants to be communist, then go to a different country, this rule book for this country. And I will fight if I'm the last man. Okay? But eating the pets and saying it's not happening. I mean, Carol, we're pet owners. If you've had kids and then your kids leave home, you get attached to your pets like you were not that you don't get attached to your pets when you have kids, but when you don't have kids, you got all that time on your hands and you used to spend all that, with your kids and stuff, and you get close. Like the first dog I had, the search and rescue dog I had, and when I lost her, that was 30 years ago already. I'll never forget Princess. But anyway, they're causing the people to break. And what happens when you have a flash mob of people actually go and there's conflict? When a flash mob of Americans finally take matters into their own hands. What's it going to be when somebody finally gets killed by one of these pieces of shit? You think the George Floyd riots were bad? Like I say, piss off us conservatives to where we get that worked up. You guys are going to be crying in your safe rooms. Stop them, stop them, stop them. We're sorry. Like every liberal does when they fucking finally pushed it too far. It's coming. Wait, I bet you before the election, we have our first death in Springfield, Ohio. If we haven't had one already, they just covered up a rape, something. Because what do they got to fear? They ain't going to jail. The worst thing that's going to happen to them is they may end up getting sent back to their country. Hell, they may get rewarded for it. Great to start the chaos. Good job. But for the Democrats to say this ain't happening? Really? Well, I tell you what, Kamala. Same thing when it comes to the election night. You can think to yourself, I'm really not losing. Okay? And go on that mindset and disappear from all of our lives for eternity. I think about what's going to happen. What's it? 17, 48, 53 days, 54 days. Just get prepared. Make sure you got an escape plan if you live in a city. Police scanners are great to have. I would have some way to scan the police channels, any type of emergency channels. Carol, if you start seeing very weird military maneuvers, meaning if you start to see a bunch of Humvees leave the base that have machine guns on top of them and they're armed, bug out. Because when the word's given, see, like they have plans for all this stuff. That's one thing people don't understand. All these plans have code names, okay? And when they say, okay, Mr. President, we need to activate Code B, Code Blue. Boom. Code Blue, the message gets sent out and everything just happens at one time. So if you think you have time to get out by the time their plans go into effect, you don't. They already know how they're going to block the roads, everything. It's all pre-planned. At least it used to be. Now, in today's military, I'm not sure. Okay. They may not think of contingency plans like that. But anyway, with all these scenarios, and they activate the plan they need to take care of that. They pop open the book and they see what the orders are right there. They don't have memorized. They look at it, okay, this is what I need to do. Anyway, just get prepared. Okay? Because what's happening in Springfield, Ohio, and like I told you, in southern Minnesota, in the small towns, even like Walnut Grove, if there's any type of apartment complex, they have taken it over. In small rural communities, towns with a few hundred people in them. How many does it take for that? Ooh, we got 300, 400 people in town. We bring in 100, 2 busloads of immigrants. That's all it took. You do 2 buses of immigrants in every small town, they're changing the voting block. The thing is, they think we're fucking stupid. They think we're stupid. Jeanette, honestly, the debate is just another thing to make the country look like an embarrassment. Kamala just baited Trump and he took the bait. Yeah. Okay. That's why Trump needs to settle down sometimes and think. Okay. And I wasn't in that situation. Sorry, Miss President Trump. I didn't mean that. But they're coming after you with both barrels. All right. That's another October surprise. And an assassination attempt that works. But anyway, stick to what us Americans want. We already think you're the guy for the job. You don't need to sell yourself no more. Okay? Concentrate on hitting the subjects. Who cares what they say? You got a stupid liberal in the room. Who cares? I mean, when Kamala and Biden walked into Pennsylvania, into that one, was it a hangar or whatever? Nobody stood up. Nobody said anything. The vice president walk into a room and nobody says anything. Basically, don't even acknowledge they're there. And then Trump walks in. Phones are going up. Woo! But don't worry. The Democrats are saying Kamala's going to win. Where? California, yep. Portland, yep. Seattle, yep. Any Sodom and Gomorrah area. That's where Kamala's going to win. Okay? Whatever, but Carol's right. Chaos is coming. Social unrest is coming. You got 54 days. Okay? 53 days to election, 54 days till the can hits the wall. There's no reason why you shouldn't be prepared. Okay? No reason at all. Anyway, an hour and 33 minutes. Boy, I can just sit and talk. Carol, Kamala was on the way of bringing the worst in people. Bringing out the worst in people. Yeah, because we all want a bitch slapper. I just can't believe people are falling for this garbage. $50,000 in small business. You guys closed down small business during COVID. So now the taxpayers are going to have to pay to get small businesses back? Carol, I'm using these 54 days wisely to get my shit together. Yeah. I mean, we're coming to crunch time. It's 1860, people. It's 1860. Except it's not going to be a line this side and that side. Like I say, draw a circle. That'll be your front line. Anywhere you look, especially if you're in a big city. If you don't know your neighbors, at least have a dialogue with them where you're waving to each other. Something. But like I say, it needs to happen. Okay? It just needs to happen. Like I said, at my age, I don't want to sit there and have to go fight a war. But I'm not going to live as a commie. So I don't have a choice. I can't sit here and relax and pursue my happiness. Because we won't be allowed to soon. And people in Springfield, Ohio say, well, we just got to accept it. That's just the way it is. I'm sick of that attitude. I'm so tired of that attitude. Americans don't accept the way things are if they don't like it. Since when has that started? That attitude would still be under British control. Nah. I don't have to accept anything in my life that I want, especially when it's breaking the law. Their first act coming in this country is breaking the law. And then we're giving them freebies. Take care of them. Since when is it my responsibility or your responsibility or even Elon Musk's with his wealth responsibility to take care of people in other countries? I don't even want Elon Musk taking care of me. But all of a sudden, it's the American taxpayers' burden to pay for this and give our country up to them. All the founding fathers are just rolling in their graves. Anyway, it's going to get started. Can't wait. But like I say, they'll all be in their safe room. Sorry, we pushed you too far. We're sorry. We won't do that again. Whatever. You want to vote for Kamala Harris and communism, go ahead. I am going to do my Sunday live on Nikita Khrushchev. And everybody like, Nikita Khrushchev? Why would you give a live on him? You'll see why. Anyway, but that's all I got for the night. Appreciate everybody being here. We got bad times coming. I see a better moon rising. I see trouble on the way. So, don't quit my day job, right? That's one thing. I wish we weren't in the situation we were in our country. There's so many things that I want to do yet before, that I want to accomplish. And I just don't have time to sit there and fight a war. But I'll do whatever I have to do. But there are so many things I want to do besides that. Still working on getting my ultralight airplane. I can't wait to make videos on my ultralight. But anyway, it's gonna be a little bit on that. But just hard times are coming. We're all gonna have to sacrifice. We're all gonna have to do our part. So that's what you need to mentally prepare yourself mentally. In the military, they don't take a guy. It's not like you go into boot camp the first day and you're ready for combat the next day. It doesn't work that way. There's a reason. There's a process to condition a human being to fight a war in an organized way. Okay. And that's what we went through and then experienced. And Americans are going to have to experience it without being prepped for experiencing it. Like I say, a lot of you guys, you can say you use your AR-15s. Well, that's cool. Okay. Just remember, you can die. I just think a lot of people are going to realize. I mean, I'm not saying they're all going to drop, but you know, like I say, you have your Second Amendment tool. Are you really prepared to defend the Constitution? Okay. Anyway, I just my view on it. Anyway, I could go on for hours. Like I say, a YouTuber these days with everything that's going on, you could sit there and do a live stream every 4 hours with just what happened in the last 4 hours. No slow news cycles these days. But anyway, um, tomorrow I'll put out my video. Like I say, every day that I don't go live, I'm putting out a video. I hope I explain my bug out bag a little bit better to you, Carol. But like I say, in my situation, every bug out bag is going to be different pertaining to your situation. Mine's got a specific serve purpose to get me here, back here. Okay. The only good thing about it is if I had to walk, I could basically walk and never see anybody. And I just, it'd be a long walk, but it'd give you time to think about what's going on. Anyway, this is the Lone Wolf Prepper. Everybody have a great evening. Thank you for being here.